IBM announcing that Ginni Rometty will be stepping down as CEO on April 6th. She will be succeeded by Arvind Krishna, who currently heads the company's cloud and cognitive software division. Rometty will remain executive chairman until the end of the year. Rometty became CEO of IBM back in 2012. Since then, the stock has fallen about 25%. Joining us on the Squawk Newsline to discuss what this means for the company is Stephen Milunovich, managing director and tech strategist at Wolfe Research. Have you been a supporter of Ginni Rometty all along, Stephen? Was there a time when you thought that maybe she was not the right person to orchestrate the turnaround? First go back and then let us know how you feel the company's positioned for the future.
Sure, Joe. Well, we've been somewhat critical. I think all the investors know that IBM has been underperforming for some time, and we, along with others, have documented that. In fact, just a week or two ago, we put out a piece suggesting that the company required more management and perhaps structural change. We weren't sure if it was going to happen at this point, but I think it's going to be received bullishly. It's a little bit surprising that Krishna, who's coming from the R&D side, is being promoted because it appeared that the prior CFO, Martin Schroeder, was being set up to be the new CEO. But the combination of Krishna, who has been behind the Red Hat acquisition, and then, of course, Whitehurst, who comes from Red Hat, I think will be positively received by investors.
What would you have done differently? Or what in hindsight, you ought to be able to figure it out, I think. I don't know if anyone would have known in 2012 how to position the company, but were there missteps, or was execution difficult, or is it just hard for a legacy company, to compete with the nimble upstarts? We've seen it again and again in tech.
That's exactly right. I think there is an uphill battle for any legacy company. Microsoft's resurgence is unique. So I think history was against IBM. That said, when she came in, she probably stuck with the prior plan a little bit too long, and then she over-marketed Watson, which is great artificial intelligence, but really wasn't quite ready for prime time. They did try to create their own cloud, but obviously have been eclipsed by Microsoft and Amazon's AWS, as we've seen in the last couple of earnings reports. The recent strategy makes more sense to me. They call it Chapter 2, which is that 80% of workloads have not moved to the public cloud, and these are the heavy enterprise applications that IBM knows. So IBM has a better shot, I think, at dealing with that from a cloud perspective. Unfortunately, when we do our checks with cloud consultants and customers, IBM just doesn't have a ton of traction yet.
So what is IBM now, and what will it be 5 years from now? Will it? I mean, it's not going to be what we thought of as IBM. It could even have a new name, I think.
Well, IBM has changed a lot over the years. Originally it was a mainframe company, right, and very focused on hardware. Then it was more services. Today, software is about half the profit. So it's going to be a software company, and cloud and artificial intelligence will be significant parts of it. But, the world has changed, and particularly the hyperscalers with Amazon, Microsoft, and Google have really taken the lead here and left companies like IBM and Oracle in the dust. That's not to say IBM can't do better. They've got a big installed base. So, I think this should be positive for the stock over time, but it's probably not quite a Microsoft situation in terms of upside potential.
Stephen, we were talking about Ginni's legacy and how many, so much of the CEO community adores her in so many ways, and yet you look at the stock performance, and it is what it is. And not to second guess, but I'm asking you to effectively, had she gotten in that role and done something differently out of the gate? You talked about her being slow out of the gate or focusing more on Watson. Is there something in your mind she could have done that would have somehow changed the direction of this company in a more material way or in a faster way?
Well, perhaps, Andrew. I think the company was late to cloud. IBM's very smart. They saw it coming, but I think they had the traditional innovator's dilemma of concern that the cloud would undercut their core business, which to a large degree it has. So I think they were a little late in embracing cloud. And then I think they overestimated their ability with Watson and AI, and as well as their ability to create their own public cloud, not expecting probably an Amazon or Microsoft to be as successful as they've been. You could also argue maybe the structure of the company, perhaps more divestitures and repositioning the company faster, maybe making more software acquisitions before the Red Hat deal. And I think there's a big question about how much they paid for Red Hat and if that was really worth it at this time. So there clearly were some steps along the way that perhaps could have been better.